Every cop that graduates from police academy or whatever that school is called knows when they're allowed to arrest someone, right? Today I'm gonna watch a viral video. I have not yet seen it. So this is a blind react about the arrest of someone who's unsighted. It's a blind react to the arrest of a blind man. I'm not embarrassed that I'm a little embarrassed. I wanna watch this video with you and I wanna find out, is there a legal basis for these cops to arrest this man? Is there a reason to believe that he has violated a law? I don't know yet. I'm Josh Sanford. I'm America's attorney. I've been a lawyer for over 20 years and I've represented over 20,000 clients. And I make videos that help people understand the law and the way that the legal system is supposed to work. And today we're gonna find out if it's working the right way or not. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, now is the time to smash that button. And I'll tell you why. This video is gonna be awesome. I already know it is, because I have editors who cut out the bad parts. Yeah, no, they do. They definitely do. Okay, let's go. So what I've been told is that the reason that this video went viral is that it's pretty obvious that the law wasn't being violated. There was no reason to arrest this guy. Now, one of the things that we've seen a lot in headlines in the last few years, boom, 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 headlines, 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 headlines. One of the things that we've seen a whole lot in the last few years is body cam footage of arrests under questionable circumstances. And body cams are very helpful in figuring out the answer to that question. So right now I'm gonna start the video. I haven't seen it yet. Let's see how these officers behave.
Hi there.
Hey.
What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational aid. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Okay, so here's what we've seen so far. Cop jumps out of the car and she says, "Hey there, what's that in your back pocket?" And he says, "It's a navigational aid." That's probably not the answer that she was expecting, and it may be that she doesn't know what those words mean.
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes,
I'm
sir.
good.
I was investigating.
You have reasonable
Do you want me to put you in
suspicion?
handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly. You
Well,
don't
have
have
you
to.
ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a dick to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir. I'm
Have
doing
a
my
good day.
job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in?
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
All right.
This guy knows his rights. What he's doing is he is saying, unless you're arresting me, you don't need information about who I am. You don't have probable cause to arrest me. He's actually making a really good point.
Sir, what's the stop you for? For a walking stick.
So,
And it could look like a weapon. She asked you to
Really?
present it, okay?
Now she's asking me for ID.
Okay.
I don't need the ID unless
Okay.
there's reasonable articulated suspicion
And her
that I have committed a crime, am committing a crime,
And
or
her-
about to do a crime.
Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID.
Well, now
Okay.
she has verified that I am not armed.
Okay.
So there is no
You got
problem.
your ID or not?
I do have my ID, but you don't need it.
Okay. Okay.
This went from a stop to an arrest in, I'm a minute 33 in. That is wild. So far, he's had a walking stick in his pocket, and when he's asked for his ID, he says, "I have it, but I'm not gonna give it to you because you don't have a suspicion that I've committed a crime." He knows the law and he knows his rights, and he's telling the police officers what his rights are. And they know that that's a correct statement of the law, which, by the way, it is. He's saying it exactly right. The way that they are manipulating it, they're saying that when she approached him, she had a suspicion that he had a weapon. Not in his boot, not in his shirt, but the thing sticking out of his pocket, his walking stick. As soon as she knows that that's not a weapon, there is no continuing suspicion. And because there's no continuing suspicion, there's no basis to ask him for his identification, and there's certainly no basis for those handcuffs. So he actually has made a slight misstatement of the law here, in that if they arrest him, which they have, right? They have cuffs on him. He is not free to go. At that point, they can search his person. It doesn't mean that the search is legal because the arrest isn't legal, but there is a basis for doing it once they've got the cuffs on him. So maybe I'm splitting hairs there a little bit. They should have never arrested him, but because they have arrested him, now they kind of do have a right to go through his pockets, which seems stupid.
I had to walk up here in the dark for jury duty, which was canceled. Why aren't you using your stick? You don't have to use your stick all the time? Not all the time.
All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
Oh, I don't know if you caught that, but what she said was, all right, Mr. Hodges, was that so hard? I'm suspicious that line is gonna get played for the jury.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. You know, I put him in jail for resisting.
What? No.
Okay.
They said they're taking him to jail for resisting. Do they not know they're wearing body cams? He didn't resist. He said he wanted their name and badge number. How is that resisting?
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Have a seat.
You want to pick my property up, please?
I sure will, after you have a seat.
You want to pull this out of my back pocket?
Sure. Here, I'll grab your jacket for you, too.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
Oh, my goodness gracious. We have got a training problem. You don't have to be a lawyer to know that this guy has not committed any crimes. It's very obvious. Was he sassy? Is that what he did wrong? He asked for their names and badge numbers? So now it's time to answer this question. Was it legal? Was what they did to this guy a lawful arrest? But in order to talk about that, we have to go way back into the past, to 1871. We got most of our laws here in the United States from England, what you all know as the common law, and there was a rule there that you couldn't sue the king. No matter what the king did, the king was the sovereign and the king was immune. You probably heard of sovereign immunity and you know that you can't sue the king. Well, we don't have a king here in the United States, and the government is the king. And so from the very beginning of our country, the rule has been that you can't sue the government. And that was all well and good until we had a little skirmish known as the Civil War in the 1860s. During and after the Civil War, we passed the 13th and 14th Amendments here in the United States. But it was clear after just a couple of years that the rights that had been secured for African Americans under those amendments were not necessarily going to be upheld by local authorities and by state authorities in some of the southern states. So in 1871, actually on April 20th, 1871, Ulysses S. Grant signed into law a law that you know as Section 1983. It's 28 USC 1983, which is the statute which abrogates sovereign immunity. Section 1983 says that if there is a violation of your constitutionally guaranteed rights, that you can sue the entity that violated those rights. This makes it possible for people who are not supposed to be discriminated against by local authorities to actually redress those wrongs. Section 1983 really is the enforcement arm of the 14th Amendment. Basically, it's a way to thump the government when they violate your rights. And how do you thump them? You take money from them, right? Because money is a great way to get the government's attention. Why am I talking about that after watching this really lame display of police work? When I was told, hey, you're gonna blind react to this video, I was like, oh, if this guy's rude to the cops, like, he's probably gonna call them names. He's probably going to like be super gross to the cops. He wasn't even that rude. I think what the cops wanted was for him to be obsequious. This guy's not obsequious. Look, he knows his rights. I have actually no criticism of him. Now, I know why the cops did what they did, because when they have an encounter with a citizen, they always want to make sure they're not dealing with someone who has some arrest warrant, whether it's a moving violation, a failure to appear, or something more significant. But they actually don't have a right to do that. They don't have a right to ask you for your ID. They don't have a right to run you through the system and see if there's someone that they want to take back to the station. This video is going to be shown to a jury in his trial where he sues them for the unlawful arrest. And honestly, the cops are gonna look pretty bad. This is a 100% illegal arrest, no questions asked. The reason I'm talking about 1983 is that he can sue this police department for the unlawful arrest, and I can tell you how it's gonna end. He's gonna win. If there aren't body cams in this situation, this is a he said, she said regarding the arrest, right? They're gonna write in their police report, this guy was rude, he resisted arrest, he tried to flee. I mean, they can say whatever they want, right? And for years and years and years, police officers have operated without body cams. And every arrest was a he said, she said. And who are you gonna believe? You wanna believe the cops, right? We want to believe that the people that we pay to keep us safe are honest, fair-minded, and that they're not just trying to win every encounter with the public. Body cams aren't being worn by every police officer everywhere at all times, but many law enforcement organizations have them required. They're out there, they're mandatory, they are discoverable by the citizenry based on the Freedom of Information Act. You can almost always get a copy of the body cam footage, and these things are so critical for the fair enforcement of the laws, especially for people who are historically mistreated by police. So many of the most unlawful arrests from the last few years have been documented, sometimes in painstaking detail, by body cams and also by interested public members who have cell phones with cameras that are running. And these things have been giant leap forwards. I mean, huge leap forwards in holding police officers accountable for fair treatment of people that they are suspicious of having committed a crime or of otherwise needing to be detained. I got pulled over one Saturday night for swerving in my car. The cop who pulled me over obviously thinks it's late on a Saturday night. This dude's been drinking. I wasn't. I was looking at the map on my phone trying to figure out where to exit the freeway. He pulls me over. He's super rude to me. Now, this was almost 11 years ago. No body cam footage, and he has to let me go because I haven't been drinking. There's like no reason for him to arrest me. I mean, I guess he could have ticketed me because I did swerve because, again, trying to read my cell phone. As he's letting me go, I said something that was kind of rude to the cop about what I thought of the quality of his police work. Whereupon, he slammed into the back of my car with his hand, told me to pull over, get out, handcuffed me, and had me take, after another police officer got there, a field sobriety test. Well, they already knew I wasn't drinking and he was just harassing me. They let me go. And I learned a lesson that I think Mr. Hodges has probably learned, which is if you are rude to police officers, they want to flex on you. This is not all of them. Some police officers are not satisfied with simple law-abiding behavior. They also want you to be humble and obsequious and bootlicking. And only then will they treat you with the respect that a law-abiding citizen deserves. But that's not okay. Police officers are here to, what do they say? Protect and serve, but only if you prostrate yourself before them and say,
"Oh, mighty police officer, I'll do whatever you say."
No. Am I really only entitled to not be arrested if the police officer believes that I haven't been rude to him? The law is clear. They have to have probable cause of the commission of a crime. And this happens all the time. And I am so glad that body cams are out there. What's gonna happen with these officers? Well, I kind of hinted at it earlier. They need some more training. Like this is Bush League. It's garbage. Their training tells them they did not have a right to detain this guy. Their training tells them that he was not resisting arrest. He was actually compliant, but he wasn't kissing their butts. And that somehow is not enough for these officers. They're gonna get retrained. Is that good enough? Are they gonna get suspended without pay? I don't know, but clearly they have a lesson that they need to learn. And you might watch this and think, well, they need to be terminated. Can they do better? I would hope that if they were retrained, if they were suspended, they would maybe understand better that the things that they've been taught, these rules actually have to be followed because we don't live to serve police officers. They work to serve us. And here's what I would say to you if you find yourself in this situation. Don't resist arrest. Know your rights. don't flee, don't antagonize. Do talk to a lawyer once this is said and done, because if your rights have been violated, you may be entitled to compensation. And I'm just, using my crystal ball here. Mr. Hodges is gonna get a paycheck from this. He's gonna get a payday. He's going to find a lawyer. This is an opportunity to improve policing for all of us. And the way that these police departments learn lessons is by paying money. So I look forward to that for him. Before you go, drop down in the comments section and give me your pro se opinion. What do you think of this police work? What do you think of Mr. Hodges? Did he start this? Did the police officers start it? Did he antagonize them? Were they antagonizing him? What should the result of this be? And really, if he sues, how much money should he get? If you like this video, check out this video right here where I watch some of the Darrell Brooks trial, which was kind of crazy. And hopefully you'll enjoy that one just as much as you enjoyed this one. Thanks a lot. I'll be back real soon.